Hello there, you're now with me, Shal Shamato, for TVS News at 5. We begin with this update. A 32-year-old man was shot dead after he was mistaken for a monkey in Kampong Kejabil, Bukanu at a 12 noon incident yesterday. It is learned that during the incident, the victim was on the tarap tree at a height of 32.6 meters from the ground.
The deceased was identified as Muhammad Halim Jami. Miri Police Chief ACP Hakamal Hawari said policemen were dispatched to the scene after being informed of the tragedy. Meanwhile, an elderly male suspect has been detained to facilitate the investigation. At the same time, police also seized a shotgun and 13 bullets. Fire and Rescue Department Bomba personnel from Batu Niah were called and brought down Muhammad Halim's body from the tree at around 4:40 p.m. The body was later handed over to the police for further action.
Meanwhile, Sarawak must pursue an increase in its rural road connectivity and strive to promote the integration of various developments in rural areas. The accessibility in rural areas would strongly stimulate rural production and consumption, which will play a huge supporting role towards a more economically developed state.
Deputy Chief Minister Tan Sri Dato' Amar Dr. James Jemut Masing said the sooner these infrastructure are developed, the better. The Baleh Assemblyman said he recently detected large tracts of undeveloped land in his constituency and pondered on the need to turn it into an asset. He quoted China as the best example of how accessibility can do to diminish poverty while increasing its income. 40 years ago, China had focused its development in building roads, bridges, and provided essentials like water and electric supplies to every corner of its country. Masing, who is also the Minister for Infrastructure and Port Development, added that Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg have been focused on infrastructure development. He said the infra construction have been emphasized by Abang Jo under the 12th Malaysian Plan.
The COVID-19 pandemic situation has had a big impact on individual mental health. While communities in Malaysia are not excluded, this sparks a concern following the rising numbers reported linked to mental health issues such as depression.
Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah, in a statement issued in conjunction with the World Suicide Prevention Day, said as of July this year, a total of 638 suicide cases were reported by the Royal Malaysia Police, compared to 262 cases over the corresponding period in 2020, an increase of 143% or 1.4 times more. Among the things they can do include checking on the well-being of the people around them, especially those affected by the pandemic, providing support to those affected to get help and treatment, and avoiding sharing news or photos about suicide on the social media.
In a related matter, people should not be ashamed to seek help and support if they think that they have a mental health condition, said National Alliance of Mental Health NAMH Patron Senator Datuk Ras Adiba Razzi.
Ras Adiba said the public need to get rid of the perception that those who sought psychological help should be perceived as crazy. She said this in her speech at the Hope Symposium 2021 organized by the Mental Illness Awareness and Support Association MIASA in conjunction with World Suicide Prevention Day today. The theme Creating Hope Through Action has been chosen for this year's World Suicide Prevention Day, which is celebrated on September 10 every year with the aim of boosting public confidence to play an important role in preventing suicide incidents and eliminating stigma associated with suicidal behavior.
And now on to the next highlight. The ongoing pandemic has resulted to a substantial increase in the cost of building materials and labour. Sarawak Housing and Real Estate Developers Association President Augustine Wong hopes the state government could revise several costs related to construction materials, compliance and implementation.
According to Augustine, private developers are experiencing heavy loss delivering projects that were previously put on hold due to the pandemic. To ensure construction projects are still viable, Augustine stated that the government has allowed variation of prices for government projects only. SHEDA hopes that the state government would consider waiving capital contributions paid to Sarawak Energy Berhad or SEB, as it has started to monetize power generated via its hydroelectric dam. With such waiver, it will greatly help private property developers to deliver projects in time.
Sakofa Sdn Berhad has come forward to assist the creative industry players that were affected during the pandemic. The program Music Must Go On, initiated by the company, aims to develop a framework to aid the creative industry players in terms of their welfare.
So the idea is to invite all these musicians, you perform, we upload, and then you get paid. So that is secara kecil dapat yang mata pencarian.
At the same time, he also handed over a donation for Masjid Al-Amin in Kampong Semop to the Assistant Minister in the Chief Minister's Office, Corporate Affairs and UKAS, Kam Semop Assemblyman Abdullah Saidul. Earlier in August, the masjid was razed to the ground in a fire incident. Abdullah Saidul hopes that with the contribution, the burden of the villagers can be reduced.
Saya yakin sumbangan ini dapat membantu mereka untuk menyediakan rumah ibadah sementara di sebuah balai raya dan sementara menunggu pembinaan masjid baru yang akan dibina di Kampung Semop.
They actually first arrived here.
The British bawa orang India for this purpose lah.
Saksikan Travelog Raun dengan kami setiap Sabtu jam 5.15 petang hanya di TVS, saluran 122 Astro dan My TV.
Hai! Jangan lupa untuk menyaksikan saya Andi Indrawani dalam Inspirasi TVS. Pelbagai kisah yang menginspirasikan anda akan saya kongsikan pada jam 8.35 malam hanya di TVS, saluran 122 Astro dan My TV. Terlambat dah. See you guys!
Welcome back. And now on to some COVID-19 updates. Today, Sarawak has recorded its second streak with the highest number of COVID-19 infections, with 3,734 cases. Selangor came in second with 3,595 cases, while Johor records the third highest number of cases today with 2,297. Other states recording four-digit cases are Sabah, Perak, Penang, Kelantan and Kedah. The cumulative number of cases in Malaysia currently stands at 21,176 cases. On the other hand, Common initiatives regarding travel bubble and quarantine arrangements could be explored between ASEAN and China to revive the tourism industry and also people-to-people connectivity.
By doing so, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said each country will be in a much better position to revive from the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. Similarly, mutual recognition of vaccination certification documents is another fertile area for collaboration. He said creative efforts are vital in reinstating people-to-people connectivity as the pandemic has resulted in border tightening, with travelling still being regarded as a high-risk activity. The travel bubble is one of the three key factors highlighted by Ismail Sabri to be the basis for future ASEAN-China cooperation and in facilitating economic recovery from the impact of COVID-19. Ismail Sabri said China has been instrumental to ASEAN, particularly being one of the earliest partners to offer assistance during the pandemic.
In the spirit of #Keluarga Malaysia, Finance Minister Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Tengku Abdul Aziz reiterated that an immediate support from the development financial institutions is crucial to the country's economic recovery, which comes in various forms. This includes providing the necessary financing for businesses to recover and sustain themselves while creating job opportunities that will support Malaysian livelihoods.
Meanwhile, the support from DFIs will avoid a long-term impact, especially in strategic sectors such as agriculture, infrastructure development, maritime activities, exports and high-tech and capital-intensive industries. Tengku Zafrul added that DFIs play a strategic and important role in formulating an integrated national economic recovery strategy, contributing to critical efforts to restore and preserve business capacities, which is in line with its objective as an important instrument of socio-economic development. As such, he suggested for DFIs to come up with practical solutions, such as non-burdensome financing to enable businesses to recover and resume their operations as soon as possible.
And a wildfire has forced the evacuation of nearly 800 people from around the southern Spanish resort of Estepona, local authorities said on Thursday. The blaze, which started late on Wednesday, September 8, burned through around 5,000 acres of the densely forested area known as the Sierra Bermeja.
A total of 779 people have been evacuated from 4 communities in Estepona, a renowned tourist destination for British pensioners and vacationists. Huge clouds of smoke billowed up from the forest, blowing towards the Estepona village of Las Abejeras, which had been evacuated the night before. Andalusia's regional government said in a statement about 200 firefighters are operating to extinguish the fire, which has yet to be brought under control. As of late August, wildfires had ravaged 74,260 hectares in Spain, above the average of the last 10 years, but still some way off the 190,000 hectares destroyed in 2012, the worst year in the past decade.
And that concludes TVS News at 5. Do not forget to tune in to 11:30 Nightline tonight with Handy Gui. Here with me, Shosha Metro, and I'll see you next time. Have a good weekend.